Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of my podcast. My name is Jamie, and today I wanted to switch things up and do something really fun. Talk about different Mandela effects, if you've ever heard of that. What kind of basically Mandela effect are, or where the term came from. It's kind of remembering collective false memories, things that actually didn't happen, things that don't match up with the way that things are like historically kind of remembered. And there's a lot of fun examples, and I'm going to share like the newest ones till the end. So where the term kind of the Mandela effect comes from is a person whose name is Nelson Mandela. And it all started because people thought that he passed away when he was in jail or something like this in 1980, but he really passed away in 2013. But if you haven't heard of the Mandela effect, kind of brace yourself or just have a kind of open mind. The first time I found out about this and started Googling and watching all kinds of YouTube videos, I remember going to my mom and saying, "Mom, have you heard of this? Was it GIF or was it Jiffy? Was it this or was it this?" And she was saying all of the answers that I was saying, the things that I collectively remember, the things that majority of people kind of collectively remember. But for some reason, it's not the way that things were. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm going to share some kind of like pictures and stuff. So let's get started. One of the main ones, one of the biggest ones is, if you remember, the Berenstein Bears. Think about how do you spell that? What's the first thing that pops in your head? What do you kind of see? Does it have the STEIN at the end? Or did you know that it's actually really STAIN, the Berenstein Bears or the Berenstein Bears? I think that this one is interesting. And I don't know a whole lot of science behind these Mandela effects, but my psychic opinion is that, something along the lines of different dimensions, different timelines, things happen. And I'm sure that there's a movie about this where, if you've ever heard, if you go back in time and you change some things, mess some things up, people are going to remember the original kind of thing. And it makes me think of pushing the oh shit kind of button of, it's not Berenstein Bears who got this wrong. Why did you change this? But people, who actually own VHSs and different kind of books of this I've seen on the internet, they somehow have the original copy where it was STEIN, but really it's always apparently been STAIN. Another example is Jiffy or Jif peanut butter. Think of the brand, the name, the logo. What do you kind of see in your head? Was it Jiffy or was it Jif? A lot of people have their memory that it was actually Jiffy because they think about the other peanut butter, the contender, whoever, that it was Jiffy and it was Skippy peanut butter. But apparently it's always been Jif, JIF. And another Mandela effect is Curious George, the cartoon kind of movie TV show. Do you remember him having a tail or no tail? A lot of people remember him having a tail. I remember him having a tail. He's a monkey. Where's his kind of tail? Apparently, he's never, ever had a tail. Let that one kind of like sink in. And you can also Google any of these if you want to. This one's a little bit newer. And yeah, so I'll just share it with you. Sex in the City or Sex and the City? What's that girly TV show called? Was it Sex in the City or is it Sex and the City? It's always apparently been Sex and the City. This next one is something that my mom, if she were still living, she would say like, heck no, because she used to pronounce this wrong. So Free Breeze, was it spelled Free Breeze, BREEZE, or Free Breeze with just one E, FREBRZE? It's actually always just had one E. My mom, how she pronounced it was Free Breeze. And so that's just like more confirmation in my life that it's always kind of been that way. Another one to think about the spelling is the hot dogs. Is it Oscar Mayer or is it Oscar Mayer? OSCAR, is it MEYER or MAYER? It's actually always been Mayer. A lot of us think that there's two E's in it, that it's Oscar Mayer, Meyer. Apparently it's not. And another one is Skechers. When I was typing this up, I actually spelled it the wrong way, the way that the collective of everyone thinks that it is. There's actually no T in it. Skechers apparently is and has always been Skechers, not Sketchers. It's always been drop the T, Skechers. Lots of fun. And then there's Fruit Loops, the logo. What do you kind of see in your head? I almost said mind's eye because I'm so used to talking like that. When you think of Fruit Loops, is it fruit, Fruit, and then loops, and it's got the two cereal things for the O's. Apparently, it's always been fruit with two O's and then loops with two O's. So if you were to Google the image today, you would see there's four kind of like cereal things. And it just doesn't look right, because pretty sure 5, 10, 20, however many years ago, that's not what it was. Someone going back in time or jumping in a dimension, they got it wrong. They messed up the Fruit Loops logo. The next Mandela effect that I wanted to share with you guys is the Monopoly game, the Monopoly Man. And I think that this is funny because I actually literally brought this up in a reading just the other day, and I got it wrong because my kind of collective memory is the same as everyone else. But when you picture the Monopoly guy, the person who has got that mustache, and he's older, and he says like, "Do not pass go." What does he look like? Do you remember him having a top hat and then wearing the suit? And then do you remember him having a little eyeglass piece? Apparently never has, never did have any kind of things around his eyes. I brought this up in a reading recently because I was trying to ask someone if their grandfather or their dad looked like this person without the eyepiece. I said, he looks like the guy from Monopoly. Do you know what that looks like? The guy who has the eyepiece, but he's not wearing the eyepiece. Is that what your dad looks like? So that's an interesting one. Next one I want to share with us is Pikachu. Picture Pikachu in your mind. How does this Pokemon look like to you? Obviously, we know that they're yellow, they got pointy ears, and they got the tail. And I think they even had some kind of like stripes or something on their back. But did you think or remember that they have a black kind of thing at the tip of their tail? Apparently, Pikachu's tail has always been just a yellow kind of tail. I think that is something that makes me want to get out my like Pokemon cards if I had them, and actually like look at this. But apparently, if you Googled it, it's an all yellow tail. There never was any kind of black tip on it. And also, this is something that's hard for me to wrap my brain around. The Fruit of the Loom, the underwear, the brand of clothing stuff. Do you remember when you picture this right away? There's, apples and bananas and grapes and stuff, but don't you remember there being a basket behind the fruit? There actually apparently never was. It's just the fruit. There's no that like brown little triangle basket. And I don't know a whole lot about Star Wars, but maybe someone else thought this kind of way. The robot from Star Wars, don't know what he's called, but the one who was all gold. And apparently he never was all gold, and he had a silver kind of leg. Do you remember him having a silver leg, or do you remember him being all gold? And this one's interesting. Cheez-Its. Why do we call it Cheez-Its? Is this because we thought that it was spelled Cheez-Its with a Z? Apparently, it's always been just Cheez-It. Cheez-It. Cheez, and then IT. There was no Z at the end of its. So I don't know if that's just because we call it Cheez-Its, or someone going back in time messed things up for all of us. And this one is something when I was typing out as well, I spelled it the wrong way, like everyone's probably spelling it the wrong way. Flintstones. How do you spell that? How do you kind of see that? Is it Flinstones, like it should be? Apparently it's got two T's in it. Flint Stones, which makes sense. But when you see it, the logo, if you were to Google it, it just looks awkward. It just looks weird. It's not right. It's not the way that it used to be. They changed something. The next one is a movie quote, and some people said that we get movie quotes wrong because in the trailer they presented another way. I don't really know if that's the case. Forrest Gump, life is like a box of chocolates. We all know that. We've all heard that. That's the way it goes, right? If you were to watch the movie now or Google it now, it's actually life was like a box of chocolates. Apparently, that's what they're saying. Another movie thing is Snow White. What does Snow White say to the mirror? What do we kind of say around Halloween and everything like this? Do we say what we say is mirror, mirror on the wall? And that's the way it's always been, right? Apparently, it's magic mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all? She never said, the Disney movie never had it in it, mirror, mirror on the wall. It was magic mirror on the wall. Another movie quote that I haven't seen because it's a Star Wars thing is, Luke, I am your father. Didn't happen. He never said Luke. He just said, I am your father, apparently. This movie quote is something that gets me because I got a kick out of scary movies when I was younger, and I watched this 100 times. I'm pretty sure if I still had VHSs or whatever, I they definitely kind of said this. So Silence of the Lambs. Who remembers, which is probably all of us, where he says, hello, Clarice. He says, hello, Clarice. They're in the jail thingy. And he says, hello, Clarice. Apparently never happened, never said this. All he says is good morning. He never said that line at all. Next one I want to share with us is a movie line or a music line from Queen. And I read a little bit about this, that apparently we only think that because he said that once in a concert. And I don't think that that's the case because singers and stuff, they change up their words all the time in concerts when you see them live. Why does the whole entire world remember we are the champions of the world? Apparently never said of the world, just goes, we are the champions. If you listen to the whole song, it just says we are the champions. If you listen to the very end of the song, never says of the world. Apparently just happened once, but we all remember it that kind of way. This is my last kind of Mandela effect that I feel most of us kind of know is, if anyone ever watched Mr. Rogers, that the little silly goofy kid show where he had the train and everything. How did that song go? How did that theme song go? I remember it. How I remember it is, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Apparently, nope, not what he said. It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood is what the whole kind of world, society, producers, media say that it's always kind of been. It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. Doesn't fit, doesn't really sound like the theme song to me. Next one. These are the ones that I kind of had my second brain explode today when I was looking at more Mandela effects. Was when we were in school, maybe for the millennials and people who were going to school like in the 90s and stuff, do we remember that there were 51 or 52 states? I remember this. There wasn't 50 states. There was 51 or 52. For some reason, it was one or the other, or something weird about Alaska or Hawaii or somewhere like that. Apparently, always been 50 states. There was never that odd number. It's always been 50 states, and it's apparently 50 states now. I thought that one was fun. And then I don't know where this came from, but Smokey the Bear said it just like that. That's what he's called, right? No, apparently there's no Smokey the Bear. It's always been Smokey Bear. How does that make sense? Doesn't make sense, but apparently that's his name. That's always been his name, just Smokey Bear. There's no the in between it. And my friends and family and stuff from Disney World, I want to know your guys' opinion. You'll get a kick out of this. Do we remember that when you went to Disney World in Orlando, that you saw the castle right there? I think that the people who collectively remember this, it's more from like 20 so years ago, but I'm curious if anyone remembers that. Because the castle for the Disney theme park, it's actually in Magic Kingdom, always been, and always kind of has. But I wonder if anyone remembers when you pulled up to Disney, when you were walking through the tickets and the stands, everything, did you see the castle or did you not? Because apparently it's never kind of been there. This is one that I just remember now that's kind of the same. So the Statue of Liberty, I don't know which one, but a lot of people remember it being a place that it wasn't actually at. It's either like Ellis Island or this other place, Statue of Liberty. Google it. If you think you know where it is, Google that and see if you're right or maybe wrong, because you might be surprised by that one. This is one of my favorite ones. And I definitely disagree with what apparently actually happened and what was said in Saw, in that scary movie where they made like 6 of them. Saw, the movie where it was that scary looking face with the swirly red things on his cheeks. What did he say? What do you remember he said when he pulled on his bicycle? Did he say, "Would you like to play a game?" in that freaky voice? Did he say, "Do you want to play a game?" Do we remember that? Actually, what he said was, "I'd like to play a game." And I do remember hearing this from like the 6th movie, but I'm pretty damn sure movies like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He said, "Would you like to play a game?" That's what he said. Apparently not. It's just, "I'd like to play a game." Another interesting one, and for my spiritual people, you are probably familiar with this as well. I've only seen The Matrix a couple times, but do we remember that that guy's name? Not Neo, the other guy, the main guy, the other main guy. Do you remember him saying, "What if I told you everything you knew was a lie?" Apparently never said, never kind of happened. I remember that line. I remember that being, red pill, blue pill. And somewhere around that, he said, "What if I told you everything you knew was a lie?" Strange, right? A more kind of recent one that I've seen is, I'm not super familiar with this, but when I think of the logo in my head, yeah, definitely the laughing cow cheese. Picture the laughing cow on the logo. What do you see? Did it have a gold kind of nose ring? Yeah, apparently, nope, never happened. Laughing cow never had a gold nose ring on their nose. And then the logo, or just the general term of Alaskan Airlines, sounds pretty normal, right? Alaskan Airlines never happened, never was, always been Alaska Airlines. What do you kind of think about that? Another one is, picture like this logo in your head. You might have it in your laundry room. OxyClean. How do you spell that? How do you spell OxyClean? Super quick. Do you see it OXY? And then I can kind of remember seeing that the Y even had like a little line around it. And apparently, no, there's never been a Y in OxyClean. It's OXI. Go look in your laundry room or go Google it. This is one that might be a little bit crazy for us. It's when I was saying, people said movie trailers. Yeah, we remember that because that's what they said in it. But who remembers Houston? We have a problem. That's what he says, right? Houston, have a problem. There's 2 different things about this, where what actually happened in the movie apparently was, Houston, we've had a problem. And he says this in a frantic way. I haven't seen the movie, but apparently he says, "Houston, we've had a problem." But that's not what we remember at all. We remember it very, very calm, because that's what we say all the time. Houston, we have a problem, not we've and not had. None of it's past tense, because it doesn't make sense, because it's not what happened. A few more here that I want to share with us. Whiteout. Think of the logo. How is this pictured? What do you kind of remember? Was it just whiteout? Because that's what it is. WHITE? Apparently, no, it's whiteout. Drop the H. Google this, and the logo, it just looks weird. Obviously, it's spelled wrong, but I think that if it were white out all this time, then we would remember that. And while we're talking about spelling, Ready Whip. Ready Whip, the Cool Whip. How do we spell this? Maybe you remember that it's REDDI, which you're correct about that. And then whip, right? No, it's WIP. Ready, whip. WIP. There's no H in that for some reason. And that logo looks weird to me as well. Last one I want to share with us was Blue's Clues. And Blue's Clues is blue. Blue's Clues. Blue's Clues has a girlfriend or a sister or a friend. When we watched this show, remember, they were pink. That's a girl, right? Apparently, Blue's Clues has been a girl, always has been a girl. Blue's Clues, I remember watching this, pretty sure that they didn't talk, but there were so many references to him being a boy dog, right? Apparently not. I'm still wrapping my brain around that kind of like last one, but yeah. And if you have more Mandela effects, feel free to share that with me. I think that these are a lot of fun to get out of our head, to know that maybe there's a whole lot of weird kind of interesting stuff going on. And to pay attention, because who knows, maybe 20 years ago, we'll have a whole bunch of more things that we thought it was this way, but it's really kind of like not that way. And the thing that I love about Mandela effects is like the collective of people. And this is what they remember. This is what we know. It's not one thing that, oh yeah, maybe it's just spelled weird, or oh yeah, maybe it was Queen saying of the world that one time in the concert. I don't really think so. I don't think that's the case. Why do millions of people kind of remember it this way? And then the weirder kind of thing, why do some people have these pictures or memories or actual proof, VHSs, that it was spelled a different kind of way? Makes you think of like time travel and everything a little bit, I guess. But yeah, so that was just I guess I'll leave this episode like that, something for you to think about, something for you to ponder, and something for you to get Googling about. But if you want to work with me, my group class just started last week, but my next one is starting in September. If you want to start getting excited or prepared or ready or thinking about wanting to grow your abilities, maybe do what I do, psychic readings, or maybe just like want to feel more connected into all of this magical kind of fun stuff, doing readings on people, or just being able to get information from your spirit guides and stuff. If you want to do a psychic reading with me, feel free to check out the notes here, go to my website, schedule that. Things have actually slowed down in my readings because I've been focusing more on doing private coaching and other kind of stuff, that I'm currently not on a 2-month waiting list like they usually have been for the past 2 years or so. Right now it's just a couple weeks or so. So that'd be a lot of fun to connect to your past loved ones or just your spirit guides, even for a couple questions about your life. That's why I have the 15-minute readings. And these are over the phone, or for $40 extra, they're over Zoom video where it's recorded and you can keep it kind of forever and ever. And if you have just one kind of question, you can find me on heyhero, or if you happen to find my Instagram or my TikTok, I have another kind of outlet for that. That might make it easier for some people. I have a funny story about that. Where for the same price, $14, you can drop a question there about, whatever you can think about, message from your past loved one or some guidance and stuff from your spirit guides. I am not super pushing, promoting heyhero and things like that, because for the second time, Stripe has dropped me. Stripe is just another form of people who take payment, just like PayPal. But they didn't like the word psychic the first time, so they dropped me. The second time, when I was making a new account with them, I said in the description of what I do that I offer assistance with life and communication. And apparently they read in the between the lines, or they Googled me or did something, and out of the blue said, "We're so sorry, you violated terms of our agreement and we can't do business with you." So if there's two things in the world that I'm boycotting, that is Stripe and Arby's. And my story on Arby's, even though I'm not vegan or vegetarian anymore, just a funny thing. If you guys have ever remember when veganism and all this was really popular, and hopefully still is popular, I saw that Panda Express just finally stopped being difficult and added some kind of vegan, vegetarian alternative to their menu. RB said because that they're the people who we are the meats, they said that they were going to add something to their menu, which was like carrots made out of meat. And I just thought that that was a unnecessary kind of FU button. That's why I don't eat there because that's disgusting, anyways. And yeah, okay, I'm going to stop kind of rambling. I hope you have a good day wherever you are, whatever time it is. And thanks so much for tuning in. Bye now.